Hi guys, my name is Bobby and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my Booathon TBR. Now the Booathon is brand new this year. It's a brand new readathon that is hosted by Maddie over at the Book Pusher. If you're not already following Maddie, you need to. She's absolutely hilarious. She's a fellow Washington booktuber like I am. I absolutely love her channel. She just posted a video the other day about characters that she would fight. Like it's so funny. Like Maddie's great and amazing, and she decided to make this this readathon, and it follows right behind Spookathon. So the dates are October 24th through Halloween, October 31st. So it runs for a full week, a Wednesday to a Wednesday. She, was trying to make it so it didn't overlap with Spookathon. There's literally, I think, 2 days in between, because Spookathon ends on Sunday, and so there's 2 days in between. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna get burnt out, but I'm so excited because Maddie has made this readathon really easy to where the challenges are pretty broad and you don't have to use books for every challenge. You can watch a movie, you can play a video game, you could hang out with your friends or whatever. Like anything that you're physically doing, like if you go to a haunted house, you could use that as one of, to fill one of the challenges or whatever. Like if you carve a pumpkin, you could use that as the orange tag, whatever. Like she's made it so broad to make it so easy to participate where you don't have to just read books. You can do tons of other things. So without further ado, I guess I'm going to get into the challenges. We'll see how well I do with this because I'm already kind of burnt out from Spookathon. So we'll see how this goes. Anyway, so challenge number 1 is read a book or do something with orange on the cover. So read a book with orange on the cover or do something with the color orange. For this, I'm going to read a book. I'm going to read Illuminate by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I've tried to read this book twice already, but both times were on ebook, and like because this is mixed media, like this is 100% a mixed media book. It didn't read very well or translate very well on the ebook. Like it kept freezing and stuff like that, so I kind of gave up. This is a young adult sci-fi fantasy, more sci-fi than fantasy series. It's a trilogy. It is all over BookTube. Like it's been talked about for years. This is book 1. Book 3 came out, I think, earlier this year. And I've wanted to read it. Like don't read that much sci-fi, but I've kind of wanted to get into it. And I love J. Kristoff. After reading Nevernight, like I want to read everything the man writes. Like I just like J. Kristoff now. So I figured I'd give this a shot. I got this off a Book Outlet. Like it was like $5, I think. So I figured, well, why not? Now, if I can't read it in physical form, it's just not going to happen. I mean, considering, yes, it is huge. It is like ginormous. But I mean, look at some of those are just, pictures and stuff. With it being mixed media, I think it'll go pretty fast. But yeah, this is going to complete challenge 1. Read a book with orange on the cover. Hopefully I get it done. We'll see. And then challenge number 2 is read a retelling. Or watch a retelling, or whatever. Something that has to do with the retelling. So I'm going to read The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by Kiersten White. Like, I bought this the second I saw it on BookTube and somebody was talking about it. Frankenstein is like my favorite classic. I'm not big on classics at all. But I read Frankenstein and I loved it. I still do. So when I heard this was a Frankenstein retelling, I was like, okay, I have to read this. And it's been sitting in my closet for like 2 weeks, and I wanted to read it so bad, but when I saw Maddie's post about, she was going to do Booathon, and I watched her video, which I will link down below, that has all the challenges and such like that, and she said when the next one was read a retelling, I'm like, ugh, I guess I'll save it. I really didn't want to read it right now. It's relatively short. I've only heard one person review it so far, like on BookTube, like people I follow, Murphy over at Murphy Napier. She's the only one. She actually posted a review on it, and she really loved it, but she thinks it'll be polarizing because she doesn't think people are going to like the writing style, or certain people won't. So we'll see. I'm excited to read it. Like, I can't wait. This is told from Victor's, what's her name? Oh, Elizabeth. It says Elizabeth Frankenstein on the cover. Wow. It's too early in the morning. So this is from Elizabeth's point of view. She's an orphan. She was really abused, I guess, and so the Frankenstein family takes her in and she attaches herself to Victor. And they become friends. I don't know if they become more than that. I assume since her last name is Frankenstein, I don't know if she marries him or if she just takes their name when they adopt her and take her in. But this is from her point of view. Like, and so I guess from what I understand, the first half of the book is more character development and kind of slower to get there. But then after the halfway point, it's pretty much Frankenstein from her point of view. And from what I understand, like, Kirsten White, like, really makes the story her own, and kind of you think it's going to go, if you've read Frankenstein, you go like, okay, it's going to go this way, but then she takes it a different direction. So I'm excited to read that. Like, I think that'll be really fun. So this one I can't wait to read. I'll probably read this one first, because Wednesday is my Friday of the week, so I will have plenty of time to read. So this is to cover number 2, read a retelling. Okay, so number 3 is an adaptation. So any kind of adaptation. So I'm assuming this would be like reading. Like, so if you've read the book, watch the movie. Or whatever, like any kind of adaptation, a book to a movie, movie to a book, like play, whatever. So with this one, I'm going to do Interview with the Vampire. I'm going to try to listen to it on audiobook. I've already read Interview with the Vampire. I've read it multiple times. It's one of my favorite books. Like, that's kind of a horror gothic book. I know, like, Anne Rice has had, like, some backlash in the past year or so. I don't remember exactly why. I didn't really dive into it. But I love her Vampire Chronicles series. I've read all of them multiple times. They're like one of my favorite series ever. So I'm trying to get into audiobooks. I kind of have ADD, so it's better for me to have a physical book or an ebook, something that I can actually focus on. And with an audiobook, like, my mind will tend to wander. So I'm going to try it. If that doesn't work, I'm just going to watch the movie, and that'll fill the adaptation, because I've already read the book. I've read it multiple times, so I'll just watch the movie, and I love the movie. Okay, so the next prompt, number 4, is a spirit. Something with a spirit in it. You know, like either watching, game, read a book with a ghost in it or a spirit in it, something like that. For one of the other prompts, there's a book I'm going to read that could easily fit into the spirit. I'm going to force this book into the spirit part because it doesn't have a ghost in it at all, but I really, 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 really want to read it. So for that, I'm going to read Sweet Pea by C.J. Scoose. Now, this doesn't have ghosts in it. It's actually kind of like a contemporary thriller mystery, I don't know, mystery, but like thriller with a sociopath as the main character. Leanne over at Literary Diversions read this book and she would not stop raving about it, and everything she said was like, oh my god, I have to have this. From what she had described it, it reminded me a lot of Jane Doe, which I read in August, and I love that. It was all from the sociopath's point of view. And so when she said about this one, and she was talking about it, I'm like, I have to have it. And there's a sequel already out. So I went to go buy this on Amazon. It's not released in the US until like late November. So I went on Book Depository and bought it. It took 3 weeks to get here. But still, Book Depository, support the UK. Like, so this is a UK edition. Like, I don't even know if like the US version is going to look the same. I assume so. You can pre-order it on Amazon, but I just went ahead and bought this from Book Depository. It was only like $7. But I bought this and the sequel, so I'm hoping this is really good so I can get into the sequel. Leanne will not stop talking about it, so I have to read it. But the reason I'm putting this for spirit is because, you know, sociopaths are kind of spirited, right? They're kind of creepy spirited because they're crazy or sociopathic and they do horrible, mean things. I mean, right on the cover, it said the last person who called me Sweet Pea ended up dead. So she obviously is going to kill some people. That makes her creepy spirited, right? I know I'm pushing it. But Maddie said she doesn't care. Like, she's very lax. She's not going to police anybody. So number 5 is Enchanting. Use the word to describe whatever it is you're reading or watching. So with that, like, I mean, depending on how the books go, like The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein could end up being enchanting. Like, something that I watch. Like, if I'm going to watch something to fit the prompt or do something, I'll probably watch Hocus Pocus because I find it very enchanting. It all depends, because number 7 down there, it's like do 7 things that, and hashtag Booathon, like either on Twitter or on Instagram or whatever. So Enchanting prompt number 5 kind of goes in with that. Like, if you just say that whatever you're doing, whether be going to a haunted house or a corn maze in the fog or whatever is considered enchanting, you could just hashtag that and that fills the prompt. So it's very open. So with that one, I don't have a book associated with it. It'll probably be something that I watch, or I'll attribute it to one of the books I'm already planning to read. So then number 6 is Dealer's Choice. Get a recommendation from someone in the community and then shout them out. So I asked Vicky over at Chapter 32, because she's one of the, few booktubers that I'm actually actively communicating with, that, she helped get me here, prompt me to get on here. So I asked her to give me a recommendation. The first recommendation she gave me I've already read. So the second one is Cold Moon Over Babylon by Michael McDowell. Her and I have both read The Elementals by Michael McDowell, and both really enjoyed it. And this one is a ghost story. Like, it's a ghost revenge story from what I understand. So that could also fit into the spirit prompt. But this book is very hard to find. It's out of print. Michael McDowell died in 1999, so it's really hard to find the book. She got the book in a Nocturnal Reader's box. So I looked online. My library doesn't have it because all of his books are so old since he's been gone for so long. My library doesn't have any of his books at all. So I was like, all right. So I looked online and they had it on Kindle. Like, Amazon had it for Kindle for like $8. So I just went ahead and bought it that way so I can read it, because there was no other way I was going to get it. I wasn't going to pay $18 for a paperback, because if I don't like it, I'd rather only spend the $7 and it be on my Kindle. So I've got that, so I'm going to read that for that prompt. And, shout out to Vicky over at Chapter 32 for giving me the recommendation. I will make sure that if I post a picture of it or anything like that, I will make sure to tag her. And then, of course, the number 7 prompt I already mentioned, do 7 things using hashtag Booathon. So just go ahead, and that's just posting on Instagram. Like, if you're posting the book you're reading, what prompt it is, hashtag Booathon. Say, I'm on like my 3rd book or my whatever on Twitter, hashtag Booathon. You just got to do it 7 times, so like once a day throughout the readathon in order to complete that challenge, which isn't that hard. So, okay, I think that's it. So I have these 3 books that I'm hoping to get to, plus the one that Vicky recommended. 4 books is kind of a stretch for me for a week. We'll see. Like, most important would be these 2. Like, I can read Illuminae anytime, but because it's so big, it's kind of daunting. But these 2, I really, 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 really want to read. So these 2 and Vicky's recommendation will be my priorities. Illuminae will be my last priority. Kind of like, if I get to it, I get to it. If I don't, I don't. So yeah, I think that's it. Let me know if you guys are going to join in on Booathon. Please check out Maddie's channel. I'll leave her her announcement video down below. Please make sure to go check her out. Please join in. If you're going to join in, let me know. What books are you excited to see me read? Let me know down below in the comments. If you like what you see, like, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I will see you guys later. Bye.